Satellite imagery of North Korea's main military shipyard shows the regime is ramping up its development of submarine-launched ballistic missiles, or the SLBMs. Experts say the North is close to developing a SLBM that is longer and more powerful than its previous ones.
There are strong indications North Korea's submarine-launched ballistic missile program is advancing, and a new SLBM barge will soon be up and running at Nampo Navy Shipyard on the country's west coast. South Korean and U.S. intelligence agencies are also monitoring North Korea's Sinpo Shipyard on the country's east coast, where North Korea's SLBM development station is located. Using satellite imagery, those agencies say the North appears to have developed a SLBM that is 3 meters longer than the previous Pukguksong-1. There's speculation the missile has a considerably increased range since it can store more fuel.
If the missile is 3 meters longer, the overall weight is likely to be 28 tons. If the Pukguksong-1's projected range is 1,600 kilometers, the new one could have a range of up to 4,000 kilometers. That would put Guam within its range.
North Korea hinted that it was in the process of developing new weapons last July when it intentionally leaked photos that are speculated to be of the new missile, the Pukguksong-3. North Korea is also suspected of constructing a 3,000-ton submarine that can load upgraded SLBMs. Unusual movements have also been detected on North Korea's west coast. Barges that are used for testing SLBMs were spotted at the Nampo shipyard in November. There are concerns that SLBMs previously tested in the East Sea have been moved to the West Sea in preparation for more test launches. North Korea tested its first Pukguksong-1 missile in May 2015 and fired another last August with a range of 500 kilometers. However, it was not a normal fire but a vertical fire.
North Korea has a track record of testing missiles from its east coast first, then moving the tests to the west coast once the missiles are deemed safe enough to fire across the country.
Experts say that if North Korea has SLBM capabilities in the West Sea as well, it will pave way for more clandestine tests, increasing threats on the Korean peninsula.
Russian newspaper reports that North Korea has a plan to send 2 satellites into orbit. In February 2016, Pyongyang launched what it called a rocket carrying a satellite, but it was widely believed to be a test of a long-range ballistic missile. The government-backed newspaper quotes military expert Vladimir Krustalev. He recently visited North Korea and met with aerospace officials. The officials reportedly did not mention a specific date for launching the 2 satellites. One is said to be for Earth observation and weighs over 100 kilograms. The other is a communications satellite weighing more than 1 ton. The Russian expert says the plan seems credible in light of the advances North Korea has made with missile technology. North Korea claimed the launch last year was part of a space development program and a legitimate right for a sovereign state. The UN Security Council condemned it as a clear violation of a UN resolution.
Now, the US ambassador to the United Nations says North Korea has become increasingly paranoid due to its growing isolation on the international stage. Nikki Haley also said pressure must be maintained on the regime, expressing alarm over its recent missile developments. Yoo Jin-hee with the details.
Ambassador Nikki Haley told CNN on Sunday that Pyongyang's feeling the heat of international sanctions that have impacted its trade and narrowed its diplomatic horizons. She also expressed concerns over their country's weapons programs, acknowledging that the regime's latest missile test was more powerful than anything seen previously and a serious matter. In light of this, Haley stressed the importance of keeping up pressure on the regime with the help of the international community. The diplomat estimates that global sanctions on North Korea have cut off 90% of its total trade and 30% of its access to oil, saying every penny in revenues is money that could be diverted to its weapons programs. Haley expressed confidence that sanctions measures have already had a tremendous effect in achieving their goals. Meanwhile, Washington's top nuclear envoy is scheduled to visit Japan and Thailand this week to discuss ways to move forward with its pressure campaign on North Korea. According to the State Department, Joseph Yoon, the U.S. Special Representative for North Korea policy, is aiming to strengthen its partnership with both countries to encourage Pyongyang's return to the negotiating table. North Korea has test-fired 23 missiles since February, including an ICBM, which it claims can hit any part of the mainland United States. The message from the Trump administration remains mixed, however, switching between calls for dialogue and threats of military conflict.
A combined missile tracking drill between Seoul, Washington, and Tokyo begins. It's the maiden trilateral training since Pyongyang's latest provocation. Our Kim Hyun-bin gets us better acquainted with the exercise designed to improve responses to ever-increasing threats from up north.
South Korea, Japan, and the U.S. kicked off a joint ballistic missile tracking exercise to better respond to North Korea's increasing missile threats. This marks the first trilateral exercise since North Korea launched its Hwasong-15 intercontinental ballistic missile late last month. The exercise is taking place amid signs that North Korea might test launch a submarine-launched ballistic missile. According to South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff on Monday, the two-day drill is taking place in waters between South Korea and Japan through Tuesday. Each country deployed its Aegis destroyer and will conduct a computer-simulated training to detect and track any ballistic missile fire from North Korea. South Korea deployed Seohae Ryuseong Aegis destroyer. The U.S. deployed Stetham and Decatur, while the Japanese side sent its Chokai Aegis to take part in the drills. This is the sixth combined anti-missile exercise since agreed upon at the 48th Security Consultative Meeting between Seoul and Washington's defense chiefs in 2016. South Korean military says it's keeping a close eye on North Korea's missile facilities and added that it has not detected any signs of imminent threat.
Korea's nuclear and missile development is the target of new sanctions by South Korea. The measures go into effect Monday with the aim of cutting off funding. South Korea's foreign ministry says the measures are in response to Pyongyang's test launch last month of its ICBM grade model, the Hwasong-15. The sanctions target 20 North Korean organizations, including banks and trading companies, said to have been involved in raising funds. 12 North Korean individuals are also on the list. They are based abroad and include members of the military's intelligence arm. This is the second set of sanctions introduced under President Moon Jae-in. The first, announced in early November, targeted 18 individuals.